guess all the.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
We were going to be last night here, but luckily we didn't make us live. All right, let's call the meeting to order. So I'd like to open up with a word of prayer, if you could, please. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you for all those that have attended this meeting this evening, Lord. We thank you for opportunity we have to take care of town business. We just pray for knowledge and wisdom and dealing with the situations that come up. And I pray that we do justice to you and get glorify your name and just watch over us and direct us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. So, first of all, yes. Approval of the minutes from last month's meeting.
Make a motion.
Made.
Okay.
Second, motion made, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of skip around the agenda here. So I want to start off with Commonwealth right off the bat. I don't usually do that, but I want to give you guys opportunity.
What you guys have to do procedurally first.
We're good.
Okay, we don't want to short circuit that, so.
No, I got a mail list, I'll be all right.
Okay, did everybody get our memo? That one, yeah. Do we have any?
I don't recall.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I mean, it would have been just in that email that I submitted everything on Friday.
Email that came out Friday.
I'll just look right over.
Okay.
I can get started and then, yeah, so Aaron Commonwealth Engineers. So, here to present the contract for the design, permitting, et cetera, for the wastewater project that we submitted to SRF funds. So, you know, we met, I guess it was the last month or month before, kind of going over that process on how that would all shape out. And in order to utilize that funding for SRF, you need to be able to have the design needs to be completed, permits completed, and the project's ready to be bid out by basically March 1st of next year. That's SRF's fiscal year. So in order to hit those dates, we need to get design going in order and move it along. So the draft PPO was out, I guess it was probably about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or so. And just so you guys are aware, the way, since you guys are looking to partner with Okra in this funding submission process, right? You guys, this is not a good word to use. It's not that you weren't scored, but the way that you guys are scored, since you're going into partnership with Okra, it's a little bit different funding avenue that you don't necessarily get. But only PPO, you end up getting like pool funds and whatnot to be funded through Okra. So you guys have been submitted to SRF. You guys have received an SRF score on their project priority list on their score and ranked that way. So you guys are, waiting for basically a funding package to be received from SRF at this time. Date wise on that, I don't know for sure. I would assume probably August, September typically is when those come out when you look to do pool funds with Okra. It's a little bit different process than if you're not going to the pool funds through SRF basically. So what I got on that memo here is a design contract to include funding coordination, the preliminary design, final design, some permitting, and then bidding and negotiation. So basically this contract will allow for you to get the project completely bid, all your permits secured, so your IDEM permit secured, if any of those permits that required, get the project bid or get the project designed to 100%, and then get it to the point where then you can look to then advertise and bid and award that project. And those are all steps required in order to be closed, in order to get your SRF loan closing basically first quarter next year, second quarter next year.
I can jump in real quick. You guys remember the special meeting we had back beginning of June where we kicked back and forth whether to use funds on hand or borrow more? We were trying to figure out where that USDA money was, that loan was. So when you guys decided to go ahead with funds on hand, that definitely allows us and you to move up in terms of being ready on your readiness to proceed things. If we can get design going, that clears the way for any last minute hurdles or anything like that. We can get to the point where we can say, here, funding agency, we're ready to go to bid tomorrow. Now give us our money. Versus they kind of put you in a chicken or an egg. Some of the funding agencies, They won't provide funds for that design, but yet they want it done so you can go to bid sooner. So with you guys doing funds on hand, which I think you agreed to last month, that really clears the decks for you to really be ready to go when we get an offer from SRF. So
Yeah, that's cash on hand versus like the bond anticipated.
yeah, we were talking about that band that Sean Klein Peter was talking about.
Right.
So already transferred the funds to,
Oh, heck.
Yeah, so, this contract amount is the amount of $183,300. And you can see in that memo, I've got it broken out on, generically of what each phase is, with a little bit of, identifying kind of what those phases look like. In addition to that, you'll see I've got some meetings set up there as well. I've got a total of about 3 or 4 meetings set up there to go through the process of design and make sure that the town or Todd or whoever doesn't have any questions on what we've developed. So we'll do like a kickoff meeting and say, all right, look, here's our project. Here's kind of what we're talking about. Brainstorm, get the ball rolling, then meet again and say, okay, since we met last month, here's kind of where we stand at now. Here's the findings. Here's some things we may look at doing a little differently and have what we call like either 30, 60, 90 or a 30, 60, 100% meetings, bid set meetings to go over what the project specifications, drawings are, et cetera. And then that allows the town to also make sure that everything's being included. You know, Todd can go back there and like, well, I think we didn't talk about this, what's this? Or no, we need to go ahead and add this, et cetera. So just allows the town to be able to review and make sure that all things are being done like you guys envisioned. And if not, it gives you guys the opportunity to ask questions and be like, all right, so why this instead of that? Why not this, et cetera. So this is, I guess, one thing you'll see in this contract here, it's a bunch of pages, but there's a bunch of additional services in there that are not included as part of this contract. So like construction, inspection, you'll have like FABA coordination, you'll have post-construction and stuff like that. That's not included in this contract. That'll be something that'll be provided basically once we know that we are getting the project under construction. Then we'll come back and basically get this under contract. And I should add, this contract basically follows the non-construction costs that was in the proposed project that you guys submitted to SRF. So this funding, this dollar amount, with the exception of the funding coordination, is already included in that project amount that was submitted to SRF back in April. I did add this funding coordination as an additional services in there, and that would just allow for us to help Mike and Sean go through the OPRA process, go through the public hearings, go through that stuff there, in any assistance to make sure that we keep that moving forward and there's no snags and hiccups, because they will probably need some assistance from us, whether it's figures, whether it's technical information to provide, attending those meetings, et cetera. So I do have some of that cost there as well.
So we're on track to where we need to be. Is there anything that you need from the board tonight?
Just a motion to approve the contracts that I have. So then, and I will, I'll hang around, and if you guys approve them, then I'll just hang around and get signatures, and then we'll be going away. And then I'll probably look to get this kickoff meeting set up in the next 2 weeks, give or take. I want to get it rolling so we can try to get this thing knocked out ASAP. So we're not up against the gun to try to make sure that we're going to hit these timelines. These timelines by SRF are in stone for the most part. I mean, if you can't hit these timelines, you lose that potential to lose that funding.
Good with the figures, the timeline. I would make a motion. Motion made and seconded to accept the contract and sign it. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Now, moving along, do we have any clerk items?
Just that thing on the ground. That's all I have.
We have a ordinance that we need to discuss on the internal controls. State of Indiana has come out with a lot of guidelines that Janice has had to adopt along with the board and the town attorney in order to meet the guidelines for the internal controls. So tonight, we need to read the ordinance concerning that, and then there'll be a second reading at our next month's board meeting before we adopt it, if we choose to do so at that time. The ordinance is number 2025-4, an ordinance establishing internal control standards and establishing a materially threshold. So basically, what this all boils down to is the way the state of Indiana is requiring is that the clerk treasurer has other people overseeing the money that's collected and dispersed, so it's not all on her, and so it falls on the responsibility of the board as well as the clerk. So that's what this ordinance is concerning. And then, like I said, next month we'll have the second reading of that, but this is the first reading of the ordinance. Sorry about my voice. I don't know what if you wanted to look that over, I'm sorry. I'll take a look at it. If you have any discussion, adding forward proceeding.
Basically, it's just a cross-check and recheck,
Right.
since we only have one
Checks and
person.
balances, yeah.
Since we only have one person in the office, where most offices, they have multiple. It's just a cross-check on everything.
You don't want me to embezzle money.
Okay, so we'll leave that for next month. And while we're at it, we have another ordinance that we might as well tackle while we're at it. This one's from the,
Waiting on a vote on the first one.
will we vote on next month since it's a second reading, or,
Well, we gotta pass it on the first reading too.
sorry, I'm mistaken. We have a motion to pass the ordinance number 2025-4. Motion made, seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So motion made, passed on that one. And then the ordinance number 2025-2, flood damage prevention ordinance. This was another ordinance that was required by the federal government, FEMA, that signifies the different areas in town and the flood zone that they're in or not in. So once again, if you want to take a look at that before we have any further discussion.
This is just updating.
Right. Yeah, we have one currently in existence, but this is an updated version. I just got through paying my flood insurance as well.
So,
Well, I got smarter. I won't mention the company. I left the major company and went to another company and saved about half.
when I did it, there wasn't options.
So do we have a motion to accept this flood damage prevention ordinance? Motion made, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So,
That's the one we wanna do on both readings tonight.
okay.
So you just vote to suspend the rules. to the second reading.
Okay, do we have a motion to suspend the rules of the normal ordinance reading?
I second.
Motion made, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then, we did,
Just do the same thing again.
okay, we have a motion to accept. Motion made, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So motion made, accepted, and passed on the flood damage.
You need to sign this.
Yeah.
That should be.
I'm signing this one.
I guess that depends on if there's any discussion we could, but we could wait till next meeting. I think we don't need to take it on the regular, we can do it tonight. So, Same thing we did on this last one. Okay, next I'm gonna put Todd on the carpet here and kind of give us an update on the curb and what's going on.
The curb's finished, he finished the second floor today. He'll let that set up for a couple of days, I think, then he'll come back and pull his, equipment out of there, all his tools and everything, he'll be done with that. I talked to Roger, he said, was wondering if we could pick up the bill on that, and then, the part that they will just bill in and they can reimburse us to the school or whatever. And then when Russ gets on his curb, he can just come up here and James can take care of it that way.
And then when the curb's all in and cured, then we'll have it painted yellow, I assume.
I think so. If Roger wants to paint a yellow down through there, then we're gonna backfill it. I've got some topsoil over there to backfill that, bring it up, and they can plant their, whatever they want to plant.
Then add any signage that we need to.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I know we had a discussion, one more informal discussion about lettering of the town trucks. Have you had any correspondence or any talk with,
I went out to Sellers. He said he'd be able to do it. He didn't have a design or anything. I was gonna ask about that if everybody approved on that, and I could go forward, get back a hold of him. See if he wants to get something together for us, give us an estimate on it. If we like it, move forward with that.
And this was my idea. Todd had thought about it, but he didn't bring it to me. I went to him, but when I see our town trucks go down the road, I see a lot of white pickups in town. I can't tell sometimes if it's ours or theirs. And so I don't know who to cut off and yell at because I can't. But anyway, in a serious manner, I'd like to see our trucks lettered properly, because if they pull up on somebody's property, I'd like to know it's a town in the door if they're pulling up for something they need just for their safety and everything else. And so that's why I discussed with him about seeing what it would cost to letter 2 town trucks. This, because I want us to look professional and be safe for the resident and the workers. And that's kind of what I was getting at. So we can have discussion on that. That was my method of my madness.
Is Celery gonna come up with a design, or do we have a design?
I think Celery will come up with one. We have a design on the other truck. I mean, it's just black stickers. It says town in the door on that. That's it. So we want to go with that on the other one, do that, or we want, have him come up with a design, see if we like it, put it on there.
To Brad's point, something that might stand out a little bit.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll get with him this week, talk to him soon. I've also got to check into, put tires on that. I've plugged my one tire, it's got 2 plugs in it now, and I don't keep it plugged into it. So I called and got 3 estimates. I called the tire shop in Medora. They had an estimate of $724, and I'm not sure what kind of warranty that is and maintenance, rotating back, what's that?
Tire?
Yeah, 724, but like I said, I don't know, work down the road, rotating, balance, stuff like that. That was one shop in Medora. I called a Seymour place, Smith Tires, their estimate was $875. And again, not sure about the rotating balances. Jackson County Tire, they was the highest at $1322, but they cover all your tires, all your rotating, your balancing, anything that needs done. Warranty on the tires.
They offer the warranty down here.
I don't think you want to do it down there. Get tires. And that's what you get.
No warranty damage.
No,
I wonder if we ought to also look at maybe Old Bedford just
I
to
can do
compare.
that. Yeah, I can
Just
do
to-
that.
It may be higher than all 3 of them. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I'll check with them all.
Because I know you get the warranty and flat repair and all that kind of stuff.
Be nice to go with the home Depot if they offer.
And I can
I
talk
would,
to them
I
again
would
and see
check
if,
on that, because sometimes the tire company themselves offers this one.
Is that all the same tire? All the same?
no, they was
Oh,
different. Everyone has their own brand of the terrain tire. Yeah, I can talk to these down here and see if they can, some.
Great. You know what, better if they would.
Right.
Yeah, get back with us on that and we'll go from there. All right. Josh, if you could kind of give us an update on the LEO, and also at one point we talked about lights for police cars, just kind of discuss that.
Okay, so the Leo grant for the Medora School, that's been approved. It's been signed. We've got a reserve officer hired. He will do the school security. That's Andy Wayman. So he'll be caught up on his training, everything he needs to do it properly and legally to work inside the school.
He's done that through the Medora.
Yeah, he is a reserve officer for us now, and he'll be doing it that way. The tornado siren, I spoke with them, ECS, last week. They said our parts were supposed to ship on the 12th. So we're waiting any day for them to come in. As soon as I get them in, he's going to call, set up an appointment, and he's going to be down here to get that changed over and work. So we're hopefully on the home stretch on that. Yeah,
I think we've made all the proper motions on the, let that proceed, haven't we?
Yep. The lights on the police vehicle, I've got a quote on those. One quote's going to be $1,300. The other was $1,100, depending on the size of the light bar we want to go with 72 or 61 inch. But that was done through Mac Lighting Solutions, which is here local, and that's the quote I've received from them. So that's whether you guys want to go ahead with that now or wait till the budget. It's at your guys' discretion.
And touching on that, we had this discussion as well, you and I kind of brought this up to you. I want everybody to say it's not you guys coming to me and asking for stuff. I kind of saw this stuff and it kind of concerned me because I came into town and you had somebody stopped and your truck's really visible from, one angle, but another angle, it's not safe for you or whoever's pulled over. That was what brought it to my attention. Did you kind of explain that about your truck, how the lights?
So we have a really good light setup on the front that's visible from the front and oncoming, and then we have a light bar on the back that's visible from the back. Now the side, I have no emergency lighting on the sides. So that's kind of a little bit of an issue. The big issue is if you're running single 10, emergent to certain scenes and you're going to clear intersections. Not everybody has their window down, they're paying attention. A lot of people are on their phones, they got their radios turned up way loud. They may not know that you're coming up to that intersection trying to clear and get to a scene because they don't see no lights on the side of the vehicle. So we're trying to think about ways to make that more visible by putting lights on the side.
And that price is,
So the 1,300 is going to be for a 72-inch light bar, and that's going to be underneath the cab of the truck. And it won't be visible. It'll be basically hidden until you turn it on.
is that per car or for all the vehicles?
That's for just the truck.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
the question.
The 1,100 is a $200 discount if you go down to the 61-inch. Either one of them will work fine for our vehicle. 72 is just going to give you that extra 13 inches of length on the side of the cab.
And her question, I think the truck's the one that we have the major issue with the lighting anyway.
Yeah, the other two vehicles they have full 360-degree lighting. The truck is the only one that has.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Proceed.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Okay, Janice, you said you already taken care of the utility loan, right? Next up, then Mr. Barnes.
All right, so what I got, after our discussion last month and talking about the tornado siren and how it's offline, a lot of people don't even have Facebook. Believe that, Brad? Some people don't have Facebook, right?
So old ball guys don't have.
Right. So this is an alternative way to let people know what's going on. That back part has a email. Please delete or don't publish my phone number. Anyway, it's their reach alert, and what it is basically, the residents to sign up to be notified. It'll be a text, a voice call, or an email to an address, whatever they want, however they decide. On the back page, you see the first two pages describe the service, and then the back page describes, touch bases on the price per household, and then also you see middle way down the email there, you'll see some different towns have used it for how they disperse it. It would be like if, let's say, severe weather was moving in, and we could not only turn the tornado siren on, but we could notify this way too. Also, you could use for, like, let's say that, Todd's flushing the hydrants Monday morning, he can let everybody know Sunday night, hey, just a reminder, flushing the hydrants, be prepared for discolored water. Same way with me, if I hook to a hydrant for a house fire, I can get on there and say, hey, house fire on First Street, be prepared for discolored water, watch for traffic in the area, that type of scenario. Bad roads,
This would be good for
construction.
the flooding alert, so we
Yep,
had a
yep,
couple.
because
months
I didn't have, we were going door to
Yeah.
door,
I know.
right?
It
Trying to
really
let
needed
people
something
know,
then.
right? So, the only, I'm not prepared to ask for any kind of money right now, because this is based on 280 households in Medora. My only problem, I think about Carr Township, so I'm gonna tweak that number a little bit and see if 280 is gonna be enough. And then, you'll see right there for the first year, we get a discount because the town is a member of AIM, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, ain't
Yeah,
nothing.
okay, yeah, so since you guys are already a member of that, we might use you to, go through this contract. The price is only $351 a year. And in the second year, after 280 households, you see there, it will be 666.
Sure, yeah, it's at a house.
Yeah, that's at, 280 households. I'm gonna tweak that to make sure,
Now, I assume if it's like the school reach that we have over there, they have to have a smartphone.
no,
Okay.
it'll do a text, email, or voice call. And so if you get an elderly patient or not patient, but an elderly homeowner who doesn't have that, it'll call them and say, it'll be a voice generated message.
Good.
So that's kind of like,
Yeah.
and it's just a backup redundancy, but it's good to have, because even though this tornado siren will be functional, we'll use it for, let's say, construction site or, some other. Yeah, right,
We even had an inmate lose a few months, or a month ago.
right, yeah, and the sheriff's department has a reverse 911 system in place where they can do that. This is give us more local control over, and you can, what I really like about it is you can select certain areas to receive it and not everyone to receive it. And the client or the person that signs up has a lot of control over it. So they sign up for it. We're not pushing this on anybody. It's totally, it's so easy to sign up. I'll be available to help out if we choose to go with it and stuff like that. So just a little information right now. I'm still tweaking the numbers on the households because I have to thank all of Carr Township in general. So,
So
if you
many
have any questions.
emergencies going on, I think it's a great idea.
I think so too, right? Crothersville has recently switched over to it. I haven't spoken with them, but they just started using it, and you can see on that email that it had some other towns that have used it for those type of incidents.
And this is what you guys use for the school?
It's school reach is similar, it's a
Similar, yeah.
Yeah.
similar company, because like they can send out that there's schools canceled, a snow day, or
Right.
there's an event.
It's all web-based, so there's no software, hardware we have to store or anything like that. It all gets generated automatically. And you can, pick out who's the administrator, if you want Janice or Todd or Josh, whatever, or the fire chief, whoever, to
We
send
can
out
also
certain
hook
tweets.
up the link to our new website
Yep,
when
yep.
that's up and running, so that would be good.
So just more of a, let me tweak the price on it and I'll come back next month because it kind of caught my attention at the last minute. It was 280 households. That might be okay for the thing is going by the 2023 census, something, whatever last sentence. So I need to make sure that that's going to cover everything before I say that this is the amount. And it might be something where I can shoulder the budget, but on my fire department budget, and maybe 1 year I'll pay for it, next year the town will pay for it. Because I don't think it's fair that, the town people pay for, residents of the township receiving the benefit, but I still have to think of it because I'm a township fire department. So maybe that's something we could discuss, work out, first year I'll do, second year maybe.
Or we
we'll
could do
this.
like 50-50 or something.
Yeah,
Do the
yeah.
school
So-
Situation.
And, have you guys heard anything about the budget restraints or anything with the new? Right, yeah.
It's gonna be pretty heavy.
Yeah, so what I've been gathering, this is talking to other people in other organizations, other departments, other county level and stuff like that. A department similar to what I have budget wise, they're estimating in 2027 about a $20,000 shortfall. And that's a third of almost a half of my budget. There's other ways that the county level can make up with that. One being a wheel tax, that's going to happen.
Right.
Because the state's forcing them to do that to get more money for paving roads. I understand that. The other one's a 4% tax for local emergency funding and stuff like that. I don't see that happening because nobody wants to do taxes.
Right. Schools will.
We
take a
can
big hit,
also,
too.
Big
we
hit.
can also apply next July or
Uh-huh.
by next July for 2026 for a portion of the county taxes
Okay.
because we are a township under 3,500. They're not really, they don't have it set up how that's gonna be done or whatever,
Uh-huh.
but we know we have to apply for it.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I know also there's a big push to get rid of the township trustee. That scares me, and here's why, because we, the town, we as town payers and, township presidents entered into agreement to create car fire protection territory for the budget process, right? You do away with the township part of that. I don't know who takes over that. I'm assuming it's gonna be the county government,
Mhm.
so we'll have to get their blessing to enter into. I mean, there might be some other ordinance have to be made to create, I hope they don't, because I think the township trustee serves a vital role in each township. But that's always, when they have a large amount of money on hand, will politicians look at that, like, why do they have that much money?
Right.
And that's how they're trying to get away with making it a little bit easier. Is saying, well, we'll do away with the township trustee and you guys can have all this cash available balance, and then we'll take over roles and responsibilities as far as like poor relief, cemetery upkeep and all that stuff goes. And then, that'll alleviate some monies to be able to go to,
But
I don't know, and a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, it's the same way that they want to go to town boards. Same
So-
thing, county can control it.
Yeah,
when I was on that call,
okay,
and it was like 3 hours long. So,
Yes.
But,
yeah,
and they did talk a little bit about that, but it
Uh-huh.
didn't sound like they had, because currently we're receiving 1% of the AGI for the county.
Uh-huh.
The county will no longer distribute that except maybe to fire, they
Uh-huh.
said on that call. So that's an iffy situation,
Okay.
which you may still get, but
Right.
they didn't really know at the time.
there's a lot of
So-
unknowns, a lot of unknowns.
Yeah,
That
was a
scares
lot.
me.
there was a lot of questions
Right on, okay.
on that call.
Outstanding. So I got a call in to Ruben to maybe sit down with the fire board and everything, just to kind of say, hey, let's be prepared, what moving forward do we have to have in place to, I know my budget, we take $20,000 out of my budget, we're really going to have some serious thoughts about what services we can provide.
Right.
We want to maintain those level of services, but obviously if you reduce my funding, something's not happening.
Yeah, the state expects the same level or better, but less money.
Yes, and I can't get blood out of the turnip.
Right.
I can send you those slides from that call.
Please
They're
do.
really good.
You're the first
Because
one.
I don't know
Yes.
if it said anything like specific to you that you
Uh-huh.
might be interested in or not, but you can look at them and see. 'Cause
Please do.
the slides are good.
Yeah. So that's just moving forward. Like I said, we're not going to take a big budget hit this year, but 2026, but it seems like 2027 is when we're going to really feel the gist of everything that's happened. So,
It's gonna be a shock.
yeah. Any questions for me about the alert or anything? I'll come back. I'll dial those
So-
in.
How quick, I've seen this company, they get the alerts
Mhm.
and then they have what everybody's text,
Yep.
email, whatever, and it instantly goes out.
Instantly.
Yeah, that's the way
That's
school
what I
is.
was
If
wondering
they
about.
decide at 6 o'clock they're canceling school, they put it out at 6:05, we're getting it by 6:10.
Yeah, no, and that'll be up to the homeowner, or the household, however they want to receive those. Like, they can input that. We're not pushing anything on anybody. It's just a redundant way to let them know emergency situation or just general information. Hey, town board meeting tonight, 6:30, stuff like that. Just, anything.
Who is, you talked about an administrator, is somebody got to keep emails and texts, mobile numbers and all this?
No,
up to date?
the system, I only talk about the school for, it's in a computer bank. Basically, like Teresa's got her computer over there, it's all in her computer, and she's got the number for Brad McCammon that it shoots out. All she would do would be enter in the message.
Yeah. And that would be the person
But
doing
I'm
that.
wondering if people have phone number changes and.
They'll do that themselves. They can log on the website at any time to change any notification process that they want to change different number, if they get a new email address, which is not changes, anything like that. The household will have all that responsibility.
Because when they
I
buy
didn't
burner
really want
phones.
that responsibility.
But the only administrator is who do we want making that call? Let's deem somebody, that person's in charge, because let's be real, we want to make sure we're getting the right information out on a timely basis, but it has to be the correct information.
Right.
So I don't, I just want maybe certain people in charge.
Right, you don't want 5 people.
No, there's no need, and then you start, well, I gotta get a hold of so-and-so to make sure I get their information to get him.
And the nice thing about, at least in the school, it can be a human voice or it can be a computer voice. That's
Yes.
where you can type it out.
Yes. So I'll get that dialed in and come back next month. Thank you.
I want to kind of backtrack here on the school LEO agreement, because I know we discussed it last meeting and then kind of dropped it till we got all the correct changes with Josh and the new contract and signed. So I wanted to make a motion, have a motion made to accept the LEO agreement with the school and the town.
I'll make a motion. A second.
Motion made and second, and all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now we're fish. I want to make sure. Okay. All right. Do we have any old business to discuss? Is there anything we missed? Did you need anything in a way?
No.
So watch this madness.
Actually, good with that.
She's our public.
All right, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
A second.
Motion made and second, all in favor, say aye. We are adjourned.
So this is
Sorry,
for all.
I'm gonna forget your name.
This is for all of our,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it'll be for all of our township. At first I was looking at Medora, but, unfortunately, Carr Township Fire Department, right?
Yeah.
And why not let them have the benefit of having that, even though, they might not need to know that the town's flushing the hydrant. That's where we can dial it in, only the town residents would get that notification. But let's say